Vincent McKenna is a middle-aged man with plenty of bad habits. He is a war veteran who doesn't care a curse about his life and just drifts along aimlessly, wasting his time in pubs. One of his foibles is gambling. He spends almost all his money on it. A pregnant lady of the night, Daka, regularly comes to brighten up his evenings. She doesn't have many clients because, as she says, only sexual freaks go crazy for pregnant girls. Vincent gives her some cash for spending a night with him, which clearly seems to not be enough. The girl says she is not J.C. Penney, and she'll see him on Tuesday. A manager in the bank tells Vincent that his account is blocked due to the exceeded credit limit. The man wants to close the account, but he can't do that without paying off the debt of $120. In the evening, the barman tells Vincent that he drinks too much. In fact, he doesn't want to open a tab for him. After a groovy dance in the empty pub, Vincent drives home. He rams his fence and phlegmatically parks on the lawn as if it was the everyday routine and feeds the cat. Trying to crush some ice for his drink, Vincent hurts his finger. After that, he slips on the ice chips and strikes his head against the cupboard, falling unconscious. In the morning, a cargo van tries to park near his house and breaks a tree branch, which falls on Vincent's car. The shouting awakes him, and he walks outside to see what happened. His face is covered with blood. Vincent sees that his car, the fence, and the tree have been damaged. Maggie, a middle-aged woman, comes up to them and says that she and her son are Vincent's new neighbors, and she hired the workers to move to a new place.
Well, the car is an antique, Missy. I mean, it's worth a lot.
Then I'll take care of it.
You? You don't got no money. What? I mean, no offense, but you just don't look like you do. No, I will sue the moving company. You can buck up for the fence and the tree.
She agrees to pay for the damaged fence and tree. In the morning, Maggie takes her son to the bus stop from where he has to go to school and checks if he got his keys and phone. She says that she can't pick him up, so he will have to get home by himself. Oliver enters his new classroom at St. Patrick's School. Children greet him, and the teacher asks Oliver to say a prayer, but Oliver tells him that he is a Jew. It turns out that his classmates represent different religions, and all faiths are welcome here. Oliver says a prayer of 3 words and takes his seat. The subject of the lesson is Catholic saints. Meanwhile, Vincent bets on the races. He lost and is upset. A guy approaches him, takes his beer, and says that since Vincent keeps losing, he'd better get used to it and pay off his debt. Vincent is broke, so he asks for a month of delay. The guy compromises and gives him 2 weeks. It's gym class at school, and Oliver's having a hard time. The teacher even asked if he had exercised before. In the locker room, Oliver gets bullied by a classmate, and his locker is empty. He leaves the school wearing just a vest and shorts. After roaming around a little, Oliver gets to his house but finds out that the keys are in the stolen clothes. He tries to get inside through the basement window and over the fence, but he can't do that. Then, Oliver goes to their neighbor to call his mom, but she can't pick up the phone, and he leaves a message on the answering machine, saying that he has to stay with their neighbor, an angry old man. Vincent is not willing to talk. Maggie calls back, hoping that Oliver can stay with him for a while and do his homework. But Vincent doesn't want to be a babysitter for free, and asks for $12 an hour. Oliver's mom has no choice, and agrees. Vincent's cat purrs in Oliver's hands, and Vince says the cat doesn't like random people, but the kid knows how to make nice with animals. For dinner, Vincent offers his variant of sushi, made from hard biscuits and canned sardines. When Maggie comes for her son after work, Vince doesn't want to communicate and takes the money without giving the change. He asks how comes that Oliver's left unsupervised and where his father was. Maggie explains that they just moved here, and they didn't get along with his dad quite well. Vince is willing to keep an eye on the kid for a couple of hours a day for a fee. The price would be the same if he has to feed the kid, and $11 per hour if Oliver brings his own meal. Maggie agrees. At home, Maggie and Oliver discuss their new nanny. Oliver says he's kind of fun, if not being so grumpy. In the strip bar, pregnant Daka does her pole dancing. It's getting pretty hard for her, but she doesn't even have money for an ultrasound scan.
Can't dance no more.
Well, that's a surprise.
I need the money, Vin. This stupid bump is costing me much money.
He's gonna cost you a lot more pretty soon.
At school, kids study the concept of a saint. They tell how they understand it and what famous saints they know. Maggie's going to go and pick her son up, but she has to substitute another employee at the hospital, and she's forced to ask Vincent for help. Vince picks up Oliver from school. On the way, they set the rules of communication. Then Vince makes a stop and sends Oliver to call his mom from a payphone, pouring him some coins together with cigarette stubs. Oliver goes to the phone, drops the coins, and dials the number. At that moment, his classmates appear from around the corner. One of them, Robert, lashes out at Oliver and abuses him. Oliver slaps him in the face. After that, Robert gives him a thrashing. Vincent walks up to them and calls the bully by name, saying that he knows his family and he can treat their moms the same way they treat Oliver. Then Vince drives the bullies off and helps his ward get up. They leave. Vince asks where he learned to slap and whether his father taught him how to defend himself. Treating his bleeding nose with a handkerchief, Oliver says his father is a pacifist. He's a smart kid, and he's got a good opinion about everything. They drive up to some building. Oliver is carrying a laundry basket. Vincent doesn't explain where they are or why they're here. He puts on a white coat and enters the ward to see Sandy, a woman of his age. She recognizes him as her doctor. It's her birthday. He listens to her, and she asks to tell the staff that she doesn't like green beans with bacon. Oliver puts things out of the basket. Vince finishes the survey and tells her that she's beautiful, and Oliver says the same. Then they take her things, but Anna, the girl at the reception, says that they can wash them themselves because they have a laundry. Vince says that Sandy likes broccoli.
She doesn't like the string beans.
I'll make a note, Vin. What'd she prefer?
Broccoli. Broccoli's good.
Vincent teaches Oliver how to defend himself. Oliver doesn't know how to do this at all, and he doesn't really want to, but Vince thinks it's necessary. With a cigarette and a glass in his hands, he begins to teach the kid. After work, when Maggie walks to her car,
Maggie Bronstein.
I have mace!
Okay, I've got papers.
a man approaches and hands her a subpoena from her ex-husband. When she comes to take Oliver, he's sleeping on the couch. Maggie is crying. She's upset by the news of the upcoming trial. She realizes that her husband will seek custody of their son. During the ultrasound scan, Daka learns that she has the girl. She's very pleased to know that. They can't use Vince's insurance to pay for the procedure, and he gives $20 in cash. When Maggie comes for her son, he mows the lawn in Vincent's backyard while he sleeps. Mom's surprised, but that is Vince's way to teach life to the kid. Oliver likes to mow, even though there's not much grass there. During the gym class, Oliver gets attacked by Robert, who smashes his nose with a ball. Oliver gets wild and lashes back at him, screaming and calling him names. He punches the annoying bully in the face and knocks him out. After school, he rushes home to announce this small victory to his mentor. Daka meets him at the door. Oliver demonstrates the blow to Vince several times. Oliver asks who Daka is and gets an answer that she is a lady of the night. Vincent takes Oliver to the races and teaches him how to bet. Their horse wins, but Vincent asks the kid to pretend that they lost, because Vince owes cash to a loan shark who is looking at them right now. They take their winnings and run to the car. They come to the bank, where Vincent hands over the money to the manager and asks him to settle his debt and open an account in the name of his grandson. They're having a great time, eating ice cream and fooling around in the bar. Meanwhile, Maggie's got a message from the principal, who said that Oliver got into a fight. She's trying to reach Vince, but he's not at home. He's at the bar with Oliver. The boy asks the bartender for more cola and his nanny for more booze. The bartender says that he is out of bourbon and this place isn't for kids. Vince finishes off his glass and accidentally breaks it, hurting his hand. Oliver's mom is waiting for them outside the house. She's upset, having no clue where her son is. She asks Vince if he knows anything about the fight at school. Yeah, Oliver said something to him, Vince replies. She wonders why she doesn't know anything about this, and Vince says that's because she's at work all the time. Maggie pays for the cab, because no one else cares to do that. She comes to meet Oliver's principal and teacher. They ask about their family environment and where the father of the kid is. Maggie tells them that his father is a womanizer and she had to divorce. He never wanted kids, and she can't have a baby herself, so Oliver is their adopted child. Now her ex-husband is going to seek custody of Oliver in court, and he's likely to succeed since he's a lawyer. Maggie really wants her son to keep going to this school. Initiators of the fight, Oliver and Robert Ochinsky, scour the toilet bowls. Nasty work unites the boys. They no longer get mad at each other but have a heart-to-heart talk. Robert says that no one calls him by his name, because last year Brother Garagity called him Ochinsky, and everybody took that up, which he doesn't like at all. Oliver tells him that his father did bad things to his mother, and they left, so now he doesn't see his dad at all, but misses him very much. Robert gives Oliver his keys and phone back. He asks if Dad taught him to fight like that. Oliver says that it's his babysitter.
Your dad the one taught you how to fight?
No, I'm my babysitter.
At the care home, Vincent takes Sandy to the lake. They get along quite nicely. At some point, Sandy calls him by his name as if she remembers it, but then immediately switches to another thing. The care home's manager says that it's an expensive place, and Vince needs to pay regularly, but Vince has a problem with that. Vince has to pay 3 months in advance, but he's able to give only 20% of the sum on his word. That will not do it, so he'll need to find another shelter for Sandy. Vince asks Anna to put flowers in Sandy's room and insists that she take some cash from him for her efforts. When Anna goes out to collect laundry for washing, he takes a bunch of random cans with medicine out of her desk. Vince asks Daka to sell these meds to someone, but she says that they can get only $100 for them. That is not enough because Vince needs $500.
This is for epilepsy, for prostate flaring, and to soften the sheeting.
That should have some value.
For who? You?
But there is no other way. He agrees. After that, he goes to the bank and withdraws $2,700 from Oliver's account, leaving it dry. He bets all the cash on the races and loses. The guy that wants his loan back is waiting for him in his home with a gun. Another guy was searching the house for something of value but found only his wife's jewelry. Vincent takes it away from him.
Come on, Vinny! Why do you always have to do things the hard way?
It's more interesting.
And a lot more painful.
Let's do.
The loan sharks were going to give the old man a beating, but Vince suddenly went faint and fell to the floor. Thugs decided that he was dying and made off. Nobody picked Oliver up at school. He gets to Vince's house by himself, goes inside, and sees him lying on the floor. Vince is taken to the hospital where Maggie works, and the survey shows a stroke. Vince is undergoing the recovery procedures. At school, children continue to study the saints. Oliver delivers his report. The kids decide who is worthy to be called a saint of the people they know. Daka's waiting for Vincent near his house, and Oliver tells her that he's in the hospital. Maggie asks how Daka and Vincent know each other. Daka says she just works for Vince without going into details.
I'm working for this man.
Oh, doing what?
Working? I'm also a dancer.
In the hospital, Vince is learning to talk anew. He struggles very much, but still manages to say that he doesn't want to see that dipshit anymore. That's how he calls the doctor. Out of spite, he flings his stuff to the floor. Today, he has to study for another hour, and his friends are going to have a bite. Daka asks Maggie to give her some cash to get a snack.
Is that Vince?
Baby?
Yeah.
I like to stay away from the whole situation.
She buys a candy bar from the vending machine, takes another 2 for free, and treats Maggie and Oliver. Daka keeps Vincent's house clean and tidy, and Oliver helps him to study. And the opposite is true. All of Vince's friends teamed up and help him together. Everyone does what he or she can. Oliver managed to bring Felix to the hospital, so Vince got a chance to see his pet. They raced each other in wheelchairs and Vince managed to win. It's time to go home. Vincent walks with a stick. He sees his apartment nice and clean and asks where all his mess is.
Where's my dirt?
Out of habit, he tries to find the TV remote under the chair. Daka opens the closet with her foot to give the remote to Vince and then immediately returns it to its place. She cooked a healthy meal he wasn't used to. Now Daka will be living with Vince in his house to take care of him. For that, she'll be paid $15 a day plus food and lodging, and nothing else.
And we don't bump the ugly parts no more, okay? So don't ask. You're too old for this, and I'm too fat.
In the courtroom, Maggie answers the judge's questions. The judge asks who Vincent McKenna is. Maggie says that he's their neighbor, and she pays him for working as a babysitter for a couple of hours a day. The judge asks if she knows that he is taking her son to the racetrack and the local bar. Maggie is confused, and it's clear that she hears about it for the first time. The judge takes out a folder with photos of Daka and Oliver, and Maggie says that Daka works for Vince. Oliver whispers to his mother that Daka is a lady of the night, and even the lawyer is stunned by this fact.
Your Honor, I need a few minutes to confer with my client.
I imagine you do.
After the trial, Maggie talks to her son resentfully. She can't wrap her head around horse racing, bars, and a stripper. But Oliver has learned that everything makes sense. The horse betting taught him some math. Time spent in a bar is like sociology. And Daka's lifestyle is about biology and commerce. Maggie's in a hurry to see Vince. She's mad at him and thinks it is his fault that both parents now have custody of her son. But Vince says it was her mistake to entrust Oliver to a man like him. And the kid needs some more than an overworked mother. Maggie says that Oliver will never come again and leaves. Vince's answering machine has 7 messages. They're from the care center. Anna says she has some bad news about Sandy. Vincent immediately understands everything. He feels weak and cries openly. Daka takes him to the care center. There's another woman in Sandy's room. The manager gives Vincent a box with a sign saying Sandy McKenna. It's all her things. Vince wants to know where Sandy is. He is told that Sandy died a few weeks ago, and since they couldn't reach him, they did everything as he ordered and cremated her. Her ashes are in the box. Vince is heavily depressed. Vince and Daka are on the beach where he used to sit with Sandy. They now just enjoy the tranquility of this place. Maggie picks up Oliver from school. The woman named Imelda is following them everywhere. She was hired by Oliver's father to look after the kid. Now Oliver has to move between towns from Maggie to his dad and back, but he's fine with that. Oliver tells his mother that he knows about his father's regular cheating, and she is very surprised to hear that, but she herself revealed it to many people. And besides, this is in her Facebook status. Vincent's sitting in the backyard. Oliver comes in, and Imelda gives him 1 minute to talk. Oliver learns that Sandy has passed away, and condolences Vince's loss. Vince says that he never understood the meaning of these because one could simply ask what she was like, how much he misses her, and what will he do now. Oliver listens with tears in his eyes. Vince tells Oliver not to live the life as he did, and find his own way. He says bitterly that he doesn't think of himself as an example to others, and that Oliver is a fool who knows nothing about him. Oliver does not argue with him. Barely holding back his tears, he says that Vincent is something more than just an angry old drunkard, and he is sad for him not being happy. With this, Oliver leaves. Vince is left all by himself. He's looking at Sandy's box. He says he loves her so much, then collects the rest of the things that remind him of her, removes all the photos from the shelves, and takes them all to the trash can. Oliver sees it through the window and comes down to have a look. He finds a photo of Sergeant Vincent McKenna taken in Vietnam in 1965. At school, the teacher, Brother Garakti, makes a reminder that in 2 weeks, children will deliver the reports named Saints Among Us on stage. When the kids were leaving the classroom, the teacher told Ochinsky to avoid filler words in his speech, and Oliver asked not to call his friend Ochinsky because his name is Robert. Daka and Vince buy a crib in the baby shop. Vincent quietly swaps the price tag so that the mother-to-be could take the one she likes. Daka prepares to become a mother and reads relevant literature. And Oliver is gathering information about Vincent McKenna. He talks to his acquaintances in the bar, views his photos, interviews Anna at the care center, and asks Daka about him. Together with Almenda and Robert, they repair the broken fence near Vince's house. His father picks him up after school, and Oliver is happy about it. It's a big day. Oliver's going to deliver a report. His mom took a day off from work to help him prepare and cook breakfast. Oliver says he loves her, and his mom says the same. They're having breakfast together. In Vincent's house, Daka runs down the stairs and yells that her water just broke and they need to go right away. At school, the seminar named Saints Among Us begins. Brother Garati makes an opening statement and gives the floor to the first speaker. Oliver's mom and dad, his buddies, and even Anna from the care center are there. Daka and Vince drive like blazes. It's Oliver Bronstein's turn to deliver his speech. Daka and Vince stop by the school, and he sees that she tricked him. They head to the hall. Daka runs in first and sits down. Vincent comes in after her. At that moment, Oliver is reading his biography, speaking about his deeds, not trying to hide his sullen temper, but putting his kindly heart first. He tells about his merits to the country and the ordinary people, from laundry to being a babysitter who teaches how to live and how to fight. On the wall, there are photos of Vince and his cherished people, his comrades in arms and his beloved Sandy, who recently passed away. Vincent's eyes are full of tears. He remains standing in the middle of the hall, and Oliver keeps speaking from his very heart, as if he is defending this title for his loved one. Citing one quality after another, and one comparison after another, he left no room for doubt as to the dignity of this person. Oliver presents his friend and babysitter Vincent for sainthood and proclaims him Saint Vincent of Sheepshead Bay. There are no indifferent people left in the audience. Everyone applauds. Swaying his feet, Vincent walks to the stage with tears in his eyes. Everyone is looking at him, touched Daka, excited Anna, smiling Oliver's dad and Maggie. Vince climbs up to the stage and bows. Oliver places a well-deserved medal around his neck, carefully straightens it out, and says, "Thank you, sir."
Thank you, kid.
They hug while the whole audience acclaims them, and it looks very soulful and magnificent. Later at the hospital, Oliver shows what DACA taught him and cheats the vending machine. But Vince says it's theft, and Oliver pays for what he got. Vincent is invited to DACA's ward. She gave birth to a beautiful girl and is very happy. There's a family feast at Vincent's house. DACA serves pasta and everybody chats in good spirits. Oliver asks Vince to say a prayer before the meal. Vince goes silent for a moment, then says that he'd better not, and resumes eating. Later in the backyard, Vince sings a song that plays in his headphones. He takes a cigarette out of the stash and enjoys the moment. Let us believe that he enjoys his life either.